So for this video, guys, we're going to look at the play called bench switch. But this is kind of a universal concept. It can be done with bench. It can be done with drive corner. It can be done with mesh spot. Those are the three that I kind of want to highlight. But for the most part, we're going to teach you how to bench switch and then go from there, okay? So what we're going to do here is we're going to do a cloud flat manipulation play. And we know that the rules of cloud flat work a certain way, and we want to make sure that we attack accordingly. I like this on the right hash mark when running this play, where my running back is on the short side of the field. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the running back on a wheel. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the B on a curl, and I'm going to motion this A over, and I'm going to block him. The only other thing I'm doing here is I'm putting Y on a fade. Now, all this is for a reason, right? What we're going to see here, and I want to attack mostly the side in which the nickel corner is not on. The reason why is I want to have a free release. That's really the biggest thing here. If I don't get a free release with the B receiver here, then you're not going to get as much of the success rate. So I want to make sure you understand that if you're calling this play hoping that it's on the short side and the nickel corner is not on that side and he ends up being it, it's probably better to do a different setup, okay? So what we're going to do here is that when we run this play, that curl that's right next to the numbers is in the cloud flats area of responsibility. Because the wheel takes so long, he's going to jump the curl, leaving the wheel route open. And that's with any cloud flat. Now, if it's hard flat, that's not going to work. But what we can do with hard flats is we can take our attention and move it to the X receiver in order to make sure that we've got the ability to go. Now, I did move the tight end, one for blocking, but two, I only want two route combination to the short side of the field, the curl and the wheel. If I had a third route, it does not make it as consistent. So I want to show you basically what happens here. Watch the corner on the right. He is going to jump the B. We're going to throw it over here, and we're going to have ourselves some nice success. We have shown this in the past if you've been with us as far as a sub for the past year. We did introduce this concept about 6 months ago, but we really didn't do much about it this year about showing you how to utilize it, and we wanted to do it in this formation because it makes sense, right? So what we're going to do here again is we're going to block the tight end. We're going to do this, and we're going to do it. Now, I want you to do it one more time. I'm going to show you. This time, I'm not going to baseline or anything. Just leave the cloud flat what it is. You're going to see that this B, the cloud flat's going to jump that player. We're going to be able to pass lead it this way and get some really nice yards. If you guys aren't watching, I'm going to make sure that I put it on the replay so you can see exactly what I'm talking about. This player right here, he's going to go do his normal cloud flat, and you're going to see that he's just chilling, trying to figure out who to cover. Once he stops, look where the wheel is. He's not past the line of scrimmage yet. So because he's not past the line of scrimmage, the cloud flat is not being threatened by that player as far as the rules of Madden go. So he's going to jump the player that is, and that's the player over there. And once he jumps him, he doesn't unjump him until he throws the ball. Last year with the whole 91 zones and jumping the passes before the throws, these were a little bit tighter. This year, I mean, look how open that guy's going to be, because once he throws it, you can see that 30 is shuffling his feet right. Now he's going to go back left. You can see how much of a room we have, and we're going to have a lot of success with it, right? Now let's go to cover 3 to kind of give you a little bit better illustration here. And we're going to do the same thing. And what we're going to do here this time, and I'll put this guy over here, and we're good to go, right? Now, if you just wanted a cloud flat to both sides, you can leave the Y on its thing, but I'll show you why we want to do this way in a second. So here's cover 3. You can see the B is going to stay in that person's spot. He jumped it, and now we're going to have some good success there as well. See, we did the double move right there, had some fun with it, but I want to make sure that you see it again. I know instant replay sometimes elongates the video, but I want to make sure you see this. Watch the cloud flat here. Cloud flat is going to be number 23. He's going to go to the outside. Once he sees that the curl stops, he jumps to the curl, leaves this player open, and we're going to have some nice success, right? Okay, so this is not a play that a user is going to jump, right? It's to the outside. It's insignificant in their mind, especially if we're moving this A over. Their first thought is a flood concept to the left. If we're scheming here, We do this, now they're going to kind of think, wait a second here. I can't jump the floods on the left because I'm worried about this, running back to the right. That's going to be a real frustrating thing. Now, let's go to cover 3 and let's do hard flats. Now, hard flats will stop this because he's going to go straight down to the running back. So what we're going to do is we're going to look to the right, see that the guy went that way. Oh, I pressed the wrong button. It's supposed to be the X player. Let's try that again. You're throwing it to the X, not the Y. Okay, so basically what you're doing, putting the Y on the fade, moving this guy over, blocking him, putting the B on the curl, RB on the fade, right? So let's get our cover 3 here. And watch that player, if we're looking to the right, seeing that the player comes down, we're going to know that we're going to be able to throw it to this X and be able to have the ability for that catch, right? Now, I did tell you in the beginning of the video that this can be done with many different plays. The one that makes sense the most is, and especially if you're in any type of sim leagues, is the mesh spot play, because I went through it already. With mesh spot, they already have a wheel on the play. So let's go ahead and look at it. And part of the reasons why I like this to be on the right side, I want my tight end to be the blocker. Because you can do it the opposite way, it's going to end up being your Y player. But on this play, you can see here, we already got the wheel. We got the curl route. Now, as far as what we would do on the left-hand side, we would either put the X on a fade, and we're going to get that a little bit deeper, or we could, or we can do the Y on a smart route as well in order to make sure that the Y is a little bit shorter, right? So again, here, this is cover 2. You're going to see that the B is going to get jumped. Once the B is jumped, we throw it to him, and we have some ability to get some more yards, right? So that is basically how this is going to break down. I'll show you to you. What's nice about this play on cover 2, we've shown you this in the past, is that this Y is deep enough to the wide side of the field that if we wanted to, we can notice that it's cover 2 and say maybe they jump it. Maybe at some point they're saying, you know what, I got to cover this running back because, it is what it is. Well, what we can do is we can let that happen, step up in the pocket, and now we can throw it to the Y receiver, right? So it's one of those deals that maybe if they go into more protection, like what I mean by that is, or more coverage, what I mean by that is something like this, right? Where they're saying, you know what, I've got to man up this running back because he's killing me. And I've got to figure out what I need to do here. And, what we're going to do is we're going to make sure that they figure out a way. If they did something like this, they've got to cover the B receiver. Because the guy's going to jump him. But if you watch what happens here, the guy goes ahead and he sits there. Now, we got the RB, and I want to make sure we still have the Y, but I want to make sure you see something like here. On this curl route, they have to, in order to make it work, we've got this, we can hit this guy right here before that player even gets there. So when they take this, and what I want to make sure you saw, when they go ahead and they say they want to man up this player, this running back to the outside, that opens up this initial throw before the cloud flat can get there. So if you see something like this where they're doing that, just go ahead and hit that player, because if they don't, they're going to have to go and basically rotate their user to that player, which goes ahead and makes sure that we've got this player open the left-hand side. So it's really going to be hard for them to cover all these players in this setup because of the way it's down. But for the most part, most people don't adjust this because they don't know what's going on. You know how many times I've had messages and different things in my inbox after a game that they're trying to figure out what I did to them. Why was my cloud flat not there? Why was this? Why was that? And I basically told them I studied the game. It's not a glitch. It's understanding the ability of what, if you understand the match principles of the game, knowing how they're going to react is going to help you design plays around it. And that's what we do here. So just want to show you this. Definitely was something that I like in this thing. We've got, plenty of plays you can do it. It's very universal. What I mean by that is you can kind of do it with anything. Like say you wanted to do it with this route here. Something like this on a cover 3, it's still going to work, because if this X does a really nice job with this route here, right? So do something like this on a cover 3, say it's hard flat, right? You see that the B is covered. Now we're going to go to this X receiver. He's coming over here. And you're going to see that he would have been open if we didn't get tackled. So this is very universal. You can do a lot of different route combinations off it. As long as the route that breaks to the left is going to be the hard flat, then you set your cloud flat to the right, and your hard flat to the left.